Second part to everybody's favorite is word problems. So let's dive right in. Again, it stays the same. I'm going to put them into three separate areas. And now let's look at what we're talking about. It says the cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper. So what are the two things we're talking about? We're talking about, I'm going to make X be envelopes, and I'm going to make Y be notebook paper. Okay? So now the first equation is a literal translation, and it says 3 boxes of envelopes, 3X, and means addition, and 4 boxes of notebook paper, which is Y, is, which means equals, $13.25. That's how I set up my first equation. And then it says 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper cost 17 cents. Find the cost of each. So now that we're here, this is where you shine. You know how to do these now. So are you going to use substitution or are you going to use elimination? I 9 times out of 10 use elimination, so that's probably what I would do here. So I'm going to do one for you just so you recognize the process. So I am going to multiply this top one by 2. Again, this box is for writing in sentence form, but since I don't have extra paper, I'm just going to do it over here. So I'm going to multiply this top one by 2, and I'm going to multiply this bottom one by -3 to get my x's to cancel out. You could do it a different way. You may want to cancel out your y's, and that's totally appropriate, totally fine. So I'm going to get 6x plus 8y equals 2650 by multiplying by 2. And when I multiply by -3, I get -6x minus 18y equals -51. So now my x's cancel out. I have -10y equals -2550. Is that right? I'm going to double check myself just because I want to make sure I'm giving you the right answer. So 51 minus 2650 is, no, I was off by 1. -2450. So when I divide both sides by -10, it's going to be y equals $2.45. So remember, this is where it's important we use full sentences because y stands for notebook paper. So notebook paper, now you're going to write in full sentences. I'm doing the sake of time. So notebook paper is $2.45. And when I go back and plug in y for $2.45, and it doesn't matter where I plug in. You guys know how to do this. I get 3x plus 245 times 4, 980 equals 1325. Subtract both sides by 980. And I get 3x equals $3.45. And then when I divide by 3, I get x equals $1.15. So notebook paper's $2.45. Envelopes are $1.15. That would be in that right side. So the focus is identifying what x and y stand for, identifying your systems of equations, and then solve it however method you want. So for the video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing this section and this section. You know how to do the math, but I'm still going to include the answers on here in case you want to check yourself. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to work them out. Because you know how to do that. However, if you are struggling with how to do that or struggling to come up with the same answer as I am, come and see me, and we can go over that together. So let's do number 9. Sydney and Gabby bought some pens and pencils. So pens and pencils are being talked about. So I'm going to make X pens. I'm going to make Y pencils. And it says Gabby bought 4 pens and 5 pencils, or excuse me, why did I just write P? 4 pens I've identified as X, and 5 pencils, which I've identified as Y, and she paid $6.71. Sydney bought 5 pens and 3 pencils for $7.12. Any method you want to use that there is fine with me, but once we set them up over here, pens are going to be $1.19, and pencils are going to be 39 cents. So hopefully you're getting that same answer. But remember, focus is on 1 and 2 here. All right, so number 11. A garden supply store sells two types of lawnmower, smaller mowers and larger mowers. So I'm going to say that X is the small mower, and I'm going to say Y is the large mower. So the smaller mower costs $249.99, and the larger mower costs $329.99. Why? Okay. It says if 30 total mowers were sold and the total sales for a given year was $8,379.70, find out how many of each types were sold. So here's the deal when we look at a word problem like this. I want you to recognize this is the cost of the small mower, this is the cost of the large mower, and together their total cost, notice, cost, their total cost was $8,379.70. Now, it says 30 mowers were sold together. 30 mowers were sold. So these were, we don't know. We don't know how many of each, but we do know that small mowers and large lawn mowers were 30 together. So different type of word problem here is that when you relate to cost, the coefficients are all costs, and then your constant term is going to be a cost. But when we're just looking at numbers, we know that both X's and Y's sold, and how many? 30 of them. So when you solve this, on this one, I would probably use substitution because I don't want to multiply crazy numbers like $249.99. So I would use substitution to solve for number 11, and I would get 19 small mowers and 11 large mowers. Okay, so if you have questions about how to solve that, come and see me, but that's the answer that you should be getting. All right, let's take a look at number 13. A group of 40 children attended a baseball game. Each child received either a hot dog or a bag of popcorn. So it's talking about hot dogs and popcorn, so I'm going to make X hot dog, and I'm going to make Y popcorn. So they received, so hot dogs were $2.25X, and popcorn was $1.75Y, and their total bill was $83.50. So again, it's the cost of the hot dogs, the cost of the popcorn, and the total cost. And how many people were there? 40. So I know 40 people attended, and they either got a hot dog or a popcorn. So I know that hot dogs and popcorn were sold, and 40 of them sold. So that's what my equation looks like. And when I solve them, I am going to get 27 hot dogs were sold. Again, these are full sentences. I'm just doing this to be short. And 13 bags of popcorn were sold. And together it's 40, and when you plug it in, that makes sense there. Right? Let's do number 15. Adult tickets for the school musical sold for $3.50, and student tickets sold for $2.50. So I'm talking about adult tickets, so I'm going to make X be the adult ticket. I'm going to make Y be the student ticket. And adult tickets were $3.50. So $3.50 for an adult and $2.50 for a child, and a total of $937.50. So cost of adult, cost of student, total cost. And how many tickets were sold? 321. So adult tickets and student tickets were sold for $321. So that's how I'm setting up that system. Again, I would use substitution. And then my answer here when you solve it is 135 adult tickets and 186 child tickets. Okay? All right, let's take a look at 17. I love this one, and I hope you remember this from when we did linear equations. We got Mary has a collection of nickels and quarters. So I'm going to let X be nickels. I'm going to let Y be quarters for a total value of $4.90. So remember, it's value plus value equals total value. So what is the value of the nickel? It's not 0.5, people. It's 0.05 is a nickel and 0.25 is a quarter for a total value of $4.90. And she has 42 coins. So she's got nickels and quarters for 42 coins in her piggy bank. So again, I would use substitution, but that is what my linear equation looks like. And 28 nickels were in her piggy bank, and 14 quarters were in her piggy bank. Okay? All right, 19. Your math teacher tells you that the next test is worth 100 points and contains 38 problems. Multiple choice are worth 2, word problems are worth 5. So what are the two things we're talking about? We're talking about multiple choice, so I'm going to put multiple choice as X, and Y is going to stand for word problems. Okay, so now we're looking at the value. How much is a multiple choice worth? 2 points for the multiple choice, and word problems are 5 points for the word problems, and the total value is 100. So the value of a multiple choice, the value of a word problem, and the total value of the test. And then it contains 38 problems, a mix of 38 problems. So X plus Y equals 38. Again, I might use elimination and cancel out my 2's. I could do substitution. It doesn't matter, but you do need to know that there are 30 multiple choice and 8 word problems. So hopefully this lesson is easy because we've done word problems before in the same format. You know how to do systems of equations. So now we're just kind of tying that all together. If you're struggling, come and see me. Otherwise, good luck.